Namaste and welcome to State Reciting, and we're the Earth Meditation Tribe, and it's Sunday 18th of August, and I'm trying to find my view of Wollongong, Steve, and I seem to have a tree in the way, so never mind. Today is a day that is a follow-up on meditation techniques. And over the last number of months, maybe 6 to 8 months, we've had a number of different presenters. And it became apparent to me at our last event, when we went around the sharing circle, that there are many people who attended who had only been meditating a very short time. And at one level, I guess I was a little surprised living in this area. And it kind of reinforced when I spoke to Steve the need for us to follow through on the meditation methods. Because over the last few months, just to put it in some perspective, we've had Julian Robinson lead us, and Julian is all about present moment awareness. And we've had Paul Bedson, who's ex-Gawler Institute. And Paul led us through a meditation technique that was...
It's called stillness...
Meditation-based... Mindfulness-based meditation stillness, or stillness meditation. And so I think that may have been a gig, Sunbare, that you also presented at. Do you remember, Paul? So we then moved from there to Rahasha. And of course Rahasha's had a long history with doing events around the world, and of course he was close to Osho. Steve, if you're able to describe his method, I'd love you to do so, but Rahasha doesn't have a label. He is, I shouldn't say maverick, but he just leads you through, he's in flow, and away you go.
He's hard, he's all hard.
Yeah. He's very hard-setted, and his main claim to fame with me are his heart meditations, and his Atisha heart meditation that he used to do at Temple Byron was probably the most famous one, which always attracted lots of people and was quite profound. And obviously it was about the heart. When I've led previously, it's been very much about earth meditations, about connection with the earth, and I'll leave it as brief as that. And more recently, last time, of course, we had Emma Pittaway, and Emma is from the Insight Meditation community, and Emma led us through what she calls a natural awareness meditation, where the proposition is that it's making a whole life a meditation. It's literally, in my view, being in flow just about all the time. And I guess when I had this conversation, and I had a conversation with Sunbare, and he had seen the poster and said, hey, that's right up my alley, can I come along that day and be involved in the presentation? And of course Sunbare has some songs that are very unique. One of the favourite songs I remember from his last presentation was the song Breathe, without putting any pressure on you today. Sunbare has an event later in the day, so this is not going to be this event won't be as long today as it normally is. So we'll try to keep it contained. But I'm not only to send Sunbare to the music, he of course has other skills and other knowledge, and we'll see whether we get time to probe into those. So as an overview, when I chatted to him about it, I said that at the moment I was reading a book, and if there's only one thing I need to get across to you today, and by the way, Sunbare will be do the music at the end. The main presenter of the day, of course, is Zoe. And Zoe, if you had to put it in a nutshell, Zoe, how are you going to, what are you going to show us a little bit later?
I'm going to talk about the importance of the breath.
Right. And when I spoke to Zoe, and then Sunbare was speaking to me, I said, hey, I'm just reading this book, Breath, by James Nestor, which is the super bestseller over the last couple of years. And it has or is changing my life. All I say, if there's one thing that I get across today, besides what you hear from Zoe and what you hear from Sunbare, is if there's one thing, is this book. And there are a whole lot, and the guy who's written it, as I say, it's turned him into a megastar. And it's about breath. And some of the propositions, for instance, I look at it and I think, my God, if only I'd known that a long time ago. So, for instance, he's very critical, on my reading of it, of mouth breathing. He says it's got to be nose, through the nose. So there's a chapter on the nose. And he says that...
Do you have a 20-second reason why?
He goes through some of the research work that's been done and a whole stack of stuff. Trust me, Steve, he's done his homework to the point where when he was some, can't remember what sort of professional person he was in science, and he walked away from that. And so, for instance, he spent maybe a few years trolling around the North American Indians and all the Indian tribes in South America. And he found that, yes, at the bottom line, let me read just a couple of paragraphs out, because even if this is communicated to you today and 2 or 3 of you go away and think, God, I've got to get the book, it's mission accomplished for me. So some of the paragraphs, he says, is breathing in different patterns really can influence our body weight and our overall health. Breathing allows us to hack into our own nervous system, control our immune response, and restore our health. No matter what we eat, how much we exercise, how resilient our genes are, how skinny or young or wise we are, none of it will matter unless we're breathing correctly. It's got all the homework there, Steve. You will no doubt this will change your life. The missing pillar in health is
the breath.
The breath. He's very direct. It all starts there. Let me quick, and the cycle of in and out breath, he says, is 3.3 seconds, which is the time it takes for the average person to inhale and exhale. Oh damn, I put a marker in and it's gone. And then he talks about the differentiation, and Zoe, I don't know where Zoe's going to take us today, because it's basically about pranayama, but I try to avoid, where possible, wording people up so that what you see is kind of organic and you see it at the same real time as I see it. And then he makes a distinction between the right nostril and the left nostril. You know all this already, Jack. So why haven't you told me about it before?
It's in here.
Okay.
That's what I'll tell you about.
That's still thunder.
And what he says, for instance, is when the right nostril is a gas pedal. Circulation speeds up, your body gets hotter, and cortisol levels, blood pressure and heart rate all increase. This happens because breathing through the right side of the nostril activates the sympathetic nervous system. You've heard that phrase before, I trust. The fight or flight mechanism that puts the body in a more elevated state of alertness and readiness. Inhaling through the left nostril has the opposite effect. It is kind of the brake system to the right nostrils accelerate. the left nostril is more deeply connected to the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and relax side. And then he refers to something that Zoe, by the way, has an extensive yoga history. And I should say to you that to Zoe's left is Amelia, and she too is a yoga teacher, instructor, and a whole lot of other stuff. So parasympathetic system I mentioned, didn't I? And what he says is our bodies operate more efficiently in a state of balance, pivoting between action and relaxation, daydreaming, ooh, like that, daydreaming and reasoned thought. And this balance is influenced by the nasal cycle, may even be controlled by it. It's a balance that can also be gained. And then it refers to Nadi Shodhana. Is that a yoga phrase that you're familiar with?
Yes.
And that's about purification. So,
And who is this person that's written this book? Is he a
James
yogi?
Nestor.
Oh, is he a yoga practitioner, or has he taken that information
Ah.
from yoga books?
I'll let you do your homework on
Instead
it.
of
Okay.
science between yoga, he approached science just as the kind of the old traditions. So he just observed it all and practiced. Yeah,
Yeah.
just human experience, really. He's,
Yeah.
Indy, are you familiar with this particular book?
yeah, it's an old book.
Oh, great. The nose is the silent warrior, the gatekeeper of our bodies, etc., etc. And then he talks about the tribal people, how they breathe through the nose, often through the left-hand side. He then refers to a doctor who's done a lot of research, Steve, and says that mouthing contributes to disease and bad health and so on and so on and so on. Nearly at the end of this, and in the paragraph on, in the chapter on nose, would you believe it, he ends with a paragraph which at first blush is a little confronting, but he says, if I were to endeavour to bequest to posterity the most important motto which human language can convey, it should be these three words: shut your mouth. Now I could go on and on. I just wanted to get the point across to you. Indy, I'm glad that you're familiar with it. But it's a life changer, that book. And little wonder that it's kind of the gospel. It's kind of like when you refer to, I was going to do a brief meditation, when you refer to the Satipatthana, the four foundations of mindfulness, there's a German bhikkhu called Anileo. And even though there are millions of people in the world who have written books on the four foundations of mindfulness, which is one of the Buddhist primary teachings, many of the top-line meditators of the world always defer to Anileo, who wrote the book back in 2004, I think it was, Satipatthana, the Path to Awakening. And so I kind of, when I address the issue of Satipatthana and what the Buddhists mean by that, I'm now thinking from what I'm reading that James Nestor, gosh, this is it'd be controversial if I were to say that he has the same weight within that breath work as the great Anileo does within the mindfulness community. That may be overstating it, Indy, but for what it's worth.
He's not a leading person, I would say. He's one of the people who are carrying the message about the breath. He's maybe, I wouldn't say he's a leading person in this field, but he does a great work trying to. He was really inspired by what he understood about the breath, and I think he's doing a good work mediating between the Eastern knowledge and Western knowledge. Western brain understands science and proof and tests and data, and the Eastern understands the flow, and he is trying to explain flow in data terms. He's doing it all right.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave breath, the new science of the lost art. I'll leave it on that basis, and even if one or two of you go away and think, I've got to have a look at that book. For me, afternoon, mission accomplished. The second thing I'd like to say is that with meditation, the conversation, and I'm thinking, given that we're containing this afternoon, because I want to see Sunbare out of here at a certain time, because he has an event happening a little bit later in the day. Let's try to trim this down, Greg. Starting point for me is to mention what is called the spectrum of awareness. I can't remember a name offhand, but the professor at University LA is often one of the lead people that they refer to when they talk about the spectrum of awareness. At this end of the spectrum is a focused attention. If I can take you back a little bit to what Emma did at the last event, she mentioned that there are lots and lots and lots of different meditation techniques. But at the left end of the spectrum, for the sake of simplicity today, is the focused attention. Whatever attention you may be attending to. And Sunbare, when I spoke briefly to you, I said today I'd quickly mention some of the terms. Meditation to me, challenge me if you like, meditation for me is placing awareness on is about I'm going to have to come back to it because I really want to use the exact words that I had on the pad, and I haven't got it on the pad beside me.
Hasha says this: meditation is an opportunity to be with whatever's here right now.
Great. Julian Robinson, when he leads, and it's a phrase I use, is present moment awareness. Being here right now. Mindfulness, using Enalao's version or definition, is a soft, aware presence. I love that definition. And of course, Emma last time mentioned without judgment, etc., etc.
And it's not the silencing of the mind.
The reality is that we're humans and we have thoughts and images and all sorts of stuff coming and going. I'm going to lead a short meditation in a little while, which is going to invite you to be with your breath and to be the focused attention of your breath. But you're right. Has anyone got any other version of what that word meditation means? Here we go. It's come to me. The systematic training of attention. And the more I read, the two key words that come out of a lot of the stuff that attracts my attention are two key words: intention and attention. And in a moment, when I do this meditation, if you listen carefully or listen to it again later, I base it on one of the great insight meditation American gurus. And what he urges people to do is to connect and sustain their attention for the duration of the in-breath. from start to end. And this is what I'm going to invite you to do. If this comes out in my part of the afternoon and you gather it, in my view, it's gold. And then you connect and sustain your intention for the duration of the out breath. Inhale, exhale. So it's that intention to maintain the attention. Have I confused you enough, Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
Good amount of confusion.
Perfect.
So in the spectrum of awareness, on the left-hand side, the meditations which are about focused attention, whether they be about something within the body, the most classic example of it is, of course, the breath meditation. And in the Satipatthana, the first Satipatthana, the first foundation, the Buddha focused on the body. And usually when meditation teachers lead, they go back to that point of the body, and usually the best way of doing that is the breath. At this end of the spectrum, the right-hand side of the spectrum, I guess you would say is basically what you got with Emma a week or two or three ago, where everything was open, was in the flow, and your entire life becomes a meditation. In between, there are a zillion different versions, and I'm not going to go there today. I just want to alert you to this and that end. So if I could ask you to, before we do, to the west of us is of course the mountain, Wollongong. And if I can just invite you for a moment to close your eyes, and we will acknowledge the indigenous people who are connected with this mountain and others. And I should say that you can sense and you can almost feel the energy, it's palpable, coming from Wollongong. So to the Arakwal, to the Bundjalung, to the Hopi people who in fact have a connection with this mountain, and to all indigenous people, we wish them well and we acknowledge much of the trauma, etc., that they have endured. And we wish their leaders, past, present and future, we wish them wellness and happiness. So if you could just move into your usual meditation pose, whatever that may be. It can be seated, or if you want to lie, you can even lie there. We'll do a shorter version. Of a breath meditation. So sitting in a way that is comfortable and alert, allows you to be comfortable and alert. Relaxing. Adopting a posture where you're touching the earth beneath and the sky above. And with a firm back and a soft heart. And sitting tall. And softening into and around your eyes, and allowing a waterfall of awareness to flow down through your body. From the crown of your head down to the tip of your toes into the earth. And this afternoon, the invitation for you, whether it's me or for Zoe or for Sunbare, is to invite you to relax into present moment awareness. So let's start with a few deep breaths into the dantian, the lower abdomen. And this, of course, is a good way to bring you home to the body, to inhabit your body. And remembering that even though at one level this afternoon the meditations you hear will be, quote, breathing meditations, in reality they're not a breathing exercise. Well, they are at one level, but it is an exercise in awareness, that key word. And letting your breath find its own rhythm. Sometimes short, sometimes long. Sometimes deep, and sometimes shallow. The invitation for you is just to go with the flow of however it may be happening. So when you are doing this breath meditation, and I recommend it to you, it's a matter of remembering to connect with your breath from moment to moment, to connect and sustain that attention for the duration of the in-breath. And conversely, to connect and sustain that attention for the duration of the out-breath, from beginning to end. So I'll give you a moment to get your head around that. It really is that simple. And noting the movement of air into and around the body. It may be the tip of your nose, and depending on the time of the year, it might be a coolness or a warmth that you feel. It might be your lips, your mouth. Your chest. The rising and falling of the abdomen. And some people do the whole body. So however it comes to you, that is the way. So once again, I'll give you a moment to just reflect on that. The movement of breath or air into and around your body. Where are you experiencing it? And thoughts and other sensations when you're meditating at home. Hey, we're humans. Thoughts and other sensations might be a tingling in your body or paresthesia in your knee from that old yoga injury, or whatever it is. These things may come onto your radar, but it is for you as to whether or not you choose to turn them into a story. So with thoughts, one of the techniques that many use is it may be thoughts or there may be images or whatever. So I'm thinking, a thought comes back. I acknowledge that. And I might note or label it, remembering that the method we're using is basically watching. We're not engaging with the story. And so we note the thoughts. Thinking, thinking, thinking. Or if there are images, if you're an image person, seeing, seeing, seeing. And once again we will finish the meditation by a big deep breath into the lower abdomen, remembering that when you are meditating in a circle like this or with a group of people, you're sharing that energy field. So once again, deep breath into your dantian and hold and letting go. And again, deep breath in and hold and letting go. invite you to come back into the room, wherever you may be. And I'm going to suggest that if there may be questions, I'm going to suggest, given that we're trying to contain the afternoon, that we'll have the sharing circle and the questions and answers, a Q&A a little bit later. Are you okay with that, Zoe? If there's some conversation about
Sure.
meditation?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the framework for you in terms of a breath meditation. And if you go through that, you'll find that it covers a lot of the stuff we're talking about. And by the way, the intent is that after Sunbare finishes, your cup of tea will be at the end of the day. It won't be, we won't be making breaks in between. You're okay with that, Lisa?
Okay.
Zoe, can I invite you to come forward? Zoe is a master of many different yoga strands, and she's also a meditation teacher, and she also, with me, hangs out a lot with Marta at Middle Pocket, and on Saturday nights we do the Havan, which is a different meditation again, that Zoe may tell you about, but then again she may not.
So how long have we got?
So can you, if you can you go to about
40 minutes, yeah?
about
25.
30 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
Are you comfortable there?
I'll find out. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm Zoe. Yoga. This is a book called Prana and Pranayama. These are teachings that were written thousands of years ago, and this particular lineage of yoga, which is from the Bihar school of yoga, they've written many, many books. And the breath is prana, is deeper than just breathing, because the breath brings in prana into the body, that is an energy, and pranayama is the way to control and move that energy through the body to heal your body. In yoga, thousands of years ago, they worked out that there's 72,000 nadis, or energy lines, going through the body, or meridians. Out of those 72, there's three main ones. The left nostril being called Ida. The right nostril is called Pingala. And up and down the spine is Shushumna. These nostrils change over in prominence every 90 minutes. So we'll do an exercise there and you can have a sense of that. When they change over, there's a few minutes where we're in a place of Shushumna, which is perfect balance. I'm very passionate about prana and pranayama. So I've written notes because I can go right off topic, and that was not in my notes. So I want to stick to my notes. So the breath is the metronome of life. If we're upset, we're breathing quickly. If we're calm, like when we wake up in the morning, the breathing is soft, smooth, slow and subtle. The breath affects the body. The breath and the breath coming through the nose is the bridge between the mind and the body. I will just go off topic to discuss about the Buddha. So the Buddha was a Hindu, yeah? So in yoga, there's 8 limbs. There's the 2 observances, moral and social observances, that actually make you want to live a higher life of self-realization. The 3rd limb is the asana, is the exercise, or the movements that you see. Those movements, if they're done with the breath, with a recognition of prana, it becomes a meditation of movement. A lot of people cannot sit still in meditation because their legs hurt or their back hurts or their neck hurts. So the concept is to do asana, movements, so the body can be still. So we're not disturbed by the body and we're not disturbed so much by the senses. The fourth limb is pranayama, which is learning to control the energy from the breath. The Buddha already knew that. He was a Hindu. He lived in India. It was a part of his life. He probably started doing it when he was a baby. He focused on the next 4 limbs of yoga. The next one is called pratyahara, which is withdrawal of the senses. We use the breath to do that. We need the body to be strong in asana so the body isn't disturbing us. Then we can withdraw. Then we come to the next limb of yoga, which is focus. If we can get focus, and we'll do that through the breath, then we can come into a higher state of yoga called samadhi, or coming into a state of samadhi. So the yogis believe you need the whole 8 limbs to get to a place of meditation. That was off track. I'm running out of time because I'm so ready. So the aim of pranayama, or just breathing in life, is to have a long, smooth, slow and subtle breath without any force or any strain. The breath, prana, is the most important thing in life. And if you're unwell, a doctor possibly will not ask you how you're breathing. Yeah, there's no money in it, is there? So, we can, and they prescribe antidepressants and all kind of things which actually slower or raise the breath rate to deal with depression. It's all really done through the breath, but it's done through pharmaceuticals. So the first thing we do on this planet when we're born is we inhale. We don't do it, we die. The very last thing we do is exhale. Have you sat with someone who's dying? I sat with my mother while she was dying. She was breathing in for a count of 1 and breathing out for a count of 7, 8, 9. It was such a long breath. All her life force was leaving her. All her prana was leaving her. So often we're not aware of our breath and how our breath is affected by our thoughts and our feelings. I think, for me, a lot of the time when I'm around people, like now I'm not breathing properly at all. I'm holding in and anxious, and perhaps I'm creating an armour around my heart because I'm anxious to speak in front of people. So I'm not breathing slowly, smoothly, calmly and subtly. Often we don't even know how the breath changes throughout the day. We don't even know that we're holding our breath. We don't even know that we're squeezing onto the steering wheel and not breathing, or have a fright. We're so unconscious of it, and it's the most important thing. Without it, we think. So the left nostril, and what Gio said, the parasympathetic nervous system, that is the calming. The right nostril is the sympathetic, that's the activating. So the right nostril, Pingala, is heating. The left nostril is cooling. Some people run hot. At the moment I'm running hot. So I need to do some cooling exercises which would calm my breath, calm my heart rate, soothe my face, and I would calm right down. Other people who are running hot, the last thing I would do now is a stimulating breath, which people who don't get the correct teachings may try a stimulating breath when they're a hot person, so they're overactivating their sympathetic nervous system and creating worse problems. It's very important to understand. This is the first. It's a 4-part series, and this is the first part, which is the beginners, because they can go into very advanced practices, and without having a solid foundation, you can cause problems for yourself. So let's now take a moment to connect to your nostrils. So close your eyes, get yourself comfortable so you don't need to move. And just take a moment to connect your nostrils. In yoga, we have what we use as a neti, where we actually wash the nostrils out. Often our nostrils are full of gunk if we're in pollution. So how can we breathe clearly? And how can we breathe clearly if we're sitting slumped? If we sit upright, we can breathe. So sit upright and just connect with your nostrils. Just take a moment, eyes closed. The reason why we breathe in through the nose is because there's hairs in the nose that clean the air. They also warm the air so that when it goes into the body, it's not a shock for the body. It's not cooling. So that's why we use the nose as opposed to the mouth. If we use the mouth, we use the mouth for cooling practices. So we do use the mouth. So just connecting with your nostrils, see if you can get a sense of which nostril is dominant. So you need to close your eyes, go inside. The breath is your friend. Your body is your friend. Come in. Don't be afraid of it. Close your eyes. Feel the breath in both nostrils. See if you can get a sense of which nostril is the dominant at the moment. Is it the left or the right, or are they transitioning? The left nostril is related to the feminine, the moon, the cooling principle. The right nostril is the feminine. Oh, maybe it's the other way. Oh, no, it is. It's right, feminine. No, right is masculine, left is feminine, moon, right is sun, masculine, heating. Just noticing which nostril is taking in the most air. So all living things have prana, and prana moves in several directions through the body. And prana can get blocked, and it can create dis-ease in the body. So just feeling into the placement now of the feet, the sit bones, the buttocks, just making any adjustments to feel that you're balanced in the body. See if you can get a sense of symmetry between the left and the right side. Perfect balance in the body before we can get balance in the breath and balance in the mind. If the body's not balanced, the mind and breath won't be balanced. Take your awareness from the base up to the top of the spine. So follow right up the spine and then relax your shoulders down. Spine is erect, head, neck and shoulders should be slightly back and relaxed and down. You can place your hands on your knees in what's called Hridaya Mudra, where you place the ring finger and the middle finger connected to the thumb. These two fingers have a direct line to the heart. If the sympathetic system is too activated, people may have high blood pressure. You can place the ring finger at the base of the thumb. By creating a mudra with the hands, it creates a sense of concentration and focus. We start with the body. The body's the easiest thing to discipline than the breath and the mind. Placing your hands on your lap with your palms facing upwards in Hridaya Mudra. Just releasing the body and totally softening the body at the same time. Simultaneously become aware of a slow, deep breath. Bringing the awareness to the nose tip. Become aware of the breath as it enters and leaves the nostrils. Now count 5 breaths to yourself. The breath is your friend. Count 5 breaths. Now bring your awareness to your abdomen around the navel area. When we inhale, follow the breath through the nostrils down the back of the throat as it fills up the lungs. The body expands like a balloon expands with the inhalation. As the lungs expand, below the lungs are a diaphragm. That diaphragm moves down towards the navel, and the navel comes out. The abdomen area expands with the inhale, and with the exhale, just gently pulling in the navel area to expel the air out of the lungs. Keeping the abdomen soft and allowing that area to expand activates the nadi, the chakra, which sends a calming message to the parasympathetic nervous system. You mightn't be used to it, so you need to consciously take your awareness around the abdomen, get a sense of the diaphragm moving down towards the navel and that area expanding, activating the sympathetic, the calming, soothing message that goes to the brain, goes to the heart, soothes the body. With the exhale, you gently pull in the navel, which expels the air out of the lungs, and the diaphragm moves up. This is the most important message I'll give you in this whole section, is to concentrate, make this a meditation where when you breathe in, the diaphragm expands, the body is calmed, and the heart is calm, the brain is smooth. When you breathe out, gently pulling in at the navel. And now I'll give you the second most important thing. There's a breath called the Ujjayi breath. It's a psychic breath. It's tranquilizing, it's pacifying, and it increases pranic capacity in the body. So we want to bring the prana into the body, move the prana through the body so it moves any blockages or any disease. This breath is called Ujjayi. It soothes the nervous system, calms the mind, relieves insomnia, reduces high blood pressure. It actually inverts the mind, creating psychic sensitivity. So, Ujjayi is performed by slightly contracting the epiglottis at the throat. Take the awareness of the breath to the throat, as if you're breathing out through a hole in the throat. Take your mind to the throat, focusing on drawing the breath in and out through the throat. As the breath becomes slower and deeper, gently contract the glottis at the throat so that a soft, subtle, snoring sound, like the sound of a sleeping baby, you can hear that sound within your head. By contracting at the throat, you're stimulating the carotid artery in the throat as well as the vagus nerve system. Again, you're sending a message to the brain, to the heart and the body. The Ujjayi breath can be used when concentrating. This is the second most important thing for you to understand. Perhaps if you're not following it, ask me in the Q&A. Just repeat this breath for another 5 times, listening to the sound of the Ujjayi breath, softening at the abdomen, body is erect and soft. Let's do 5 breaths. Notice how when you inhale, the body expands, like a balloon expands. The abdomen expands, the body lengthens, opens with the inhale, and with the exhale the body surrenders, softens, just like a balloon when the air is let out of the balloon. The breath is your friend. The best thing you can do for your health, mind and body, is to connect with your breathing. The average person is never using the full capacity of their lungs. Generally, there is used and stale air at the base of the lungs. Well, now open your eyes and stand up, and I'll show you 3 pranayama series. So this is before you even practice any of the more advanced techniques. So standing up, waking up, standing up. Isn't it amazing when we connect with our breathing, we suddenly feel tired and realise how stimulating life is. So the pre-pranayama series is standing with your feet together. The reason why we're doing this is getting a sense of creating space so the lungs can expand with the breath. The lungs are inside the ribs. In between each rib is the intercostal muscles. They have opened up dead cadavers and found these intercostal muscles are like cement. If we don't keep using them, you'll see old people. They can hardly breathe, they're stuck together. So here's a simple practice. This is opening the breath up vertically, so we'll do 3 of these. So we want to coordinate the movement with the breath. So when the hands move up, that's an inhale, because we're opening, making room for the breath. When the hands come down, we're exhaling. So just with your palms here, we'll do 3 breaths. Again, first, feel your feet on the ground. Get grounded.
Feel the little toe, the big toe, and in between the toes. Feel the heels. Relax your shoulders and just roll your shoulders up and down. Relax them down. Notice where the weight is. Is it more towards the toes, the heels, the outside, the inside? Just get the balance. Balancing on your feet. With the next inhale, remember you've just learned about softening the abdomen and letting it expand. You've also learned about contracting at the glottis to get the Ujjayi breath. If you can combine that with this movement, so inhaling, hands slightly behind the head, and then exhaling down. So with the inhale, the abdomen expands. With the exhale, we slightly pull in. So 2 more. Slow, subtle, smooth breath. And 1 more. Notice, feel the sensations in the body. This is a meditation of movement, connecting the breath with the body, mind, body, breath. Now we'll do opening horizontally. Inhale, open, breathe, exhale, close. Can you still do the Ujjayi breath? It's only for you to hear. It's your gift. Abdomen soft. Arms go up. With the exhale, slightly pull in the abdomen as you expel all the air. Coordinate the movement with the breath. And 1 more. Now stand still for a moment. Come into your body. Love your body. Listen to it talk to you. When we practice yoga, we can actually tell if the body's getting sick or not, because we're constantly coming in and listening. How is your breath? Is it smooth? Is it soft? No forcing it, no strain. Abdomen soft. So our third movement is crossing the arms. Softening at your abdomen, checking where the weight is. Is it more towards your heels or toes? Is there weight on the little toe, big toe? Are the knees soft? Is the tailbone tucked in? Is the spine erect? Are the shoulders rolled backwards? Is the head stretching up to the sky, but the shoulders are relaxed? Get the body aligned first, and then we move to the breathing, pranayama. So this breath is inhaling, taking your arms up. Exhaling, hands to the side. Coordinate the movement with the breath. Inhale, arms up, soften the abdomen. Cross the hands. Exhale, arms down. Pull in at the navel. Relax the shoulders. Breath is soft. Only you can hear it. And again, inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. Crossing the hands. Exhale down. Body is soft. Movement and breath are coordinated. 1 more. Inhale up. Exhale to the side. Inhale up. Cross your arms. And exhale down. Standing now with feet hip width apart. If you put your feet together and if you go like this with your feet, where the toes are touching, have your toes touching. Then if you go there, you have hip width apart. Easier to balance when you're hip width apart. Take your mind down to your feet. Notice the balance. Knees are soft, they look straight but they're soft. Tailbone's tucked in. Spine is erect from the spine up to the top of the head. Shoulders are relaxed and down. Let's take 3 breaths here and just notice what's happening with your breathing. I hear a lot of people yawning and sighing. Can you soften your breath? Can you get more breath in? The body's trying to get more breath in by yawning or sighing. It's telling you something. Just keeping your eyes closed. The purpose of that breath is to create better breathing patterns. So I've got 2 more breaths to show you. Let's see if we can get that. If you lie down now, on your back with your head facing the center, have a cushion for your head, lying flat, placing your hands on your abdomen. Lying in the sun looks like a nice feeling over there. Would you like a pillow? Would you like a pillow? Okay. So when you're lying on your back there, just have a sense of taking your shoulders down from your ears and create a little bit of space between the shoulders and your ears. You can place your hands on your navel area, placing the hands around the navel. And inhale deeply and notice if your hand rises as the abdomen expands with the inhale. The diaphragm is a strong muscle membrane which separates the lungs from the abdominal organs. If you're breathing fully, the diaphragm will move down towards the navel and the abdomen will expand. This will activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which will be calming and soothing, and messages will go to the body and disease may not result if we keep the body in harmony. This practice is called the full yogic breath. We're just doing the abdominal part of this breath where you're just focusing on the abdomen, raising the abdomen with the inhale. Feeling the abdomen expand with the inhale and contract with the exhale. The second part of the full yogic breath is an awareness of the chest. This time you keep the abdomen still, and when you inhale, breathe only into the ribs. You'll feel the ribs will expand, the rib cage will expand, they will move outward and upward, but the abdomen remains still. This is the second breath. Just moving into the chest. Are you able to just only have the breath in the chest? Can you feel those intercostal muscles between the ribs move as you inhale? The lungs are underneath the ribs like 2 balloons. You want the ribs to move
You want the intercostal muscles to remain elastic. We'll now combine the 3 breaths, where when you inhale, the abdomen will expand and the chest will expand, and you'll take the breath up to the clavicular area, up around the shoulders. So a 3-part breath. This is the full yogic breath. As you breathe in, the abdomen expands, the chest expands, and it comes right up to the shoulders. This breath may seem very simple and not worth remembering. In my 40 years of yoga practice and teaching, this has only just dropped into my awareness of how this is the basis. It is so important, which is why I'm so passionate about it. I never got it before now. I hope you've had a sense of that.
Do you breathe together or one?
Yes, so what you're doing is the breath, as you inhale, it's going down the nose, down the throat, opening the lung, filling up the lungs, and then the abdomen expands. With the exhale, the abdomen contracts and the breath comes out. It's the full yogic breath. It requires concentration. It is a meditation on its own. Okay, because some people are having, I'm hearing yawning and sighing, or I was, I want to now explain to you a practice which can help with that, which can actually expand the lung capacity. It will also give you control over the breath. Normally we're breathing into we're just doing, if we're not doing a full yogic breathing, we're breathing into the brain stem. The brain stem is our prehistoric thinking. It's our animal behavior. It's our survival. Most people are in the brain stem. Our whole media, everything is in the brain stem. They're activating the brain stem. If you want to have higher level thinking, you need to move the breath from the brain stem to the frontal cortex. That's where you'll have intuitive thoughts, wisdom, outside of this fear-based. And we need to do yogic practices for that, pranayama practices. So this breath, calling Viloma, it's called Viloma, it has 3 stages. I'm just going to introduce to you 2 stages. Like I said, this is a 4-part process just to understand the very, very beginnings of breathing. Slowing down the breath also develops relaxation. It lowers the heart rate, it reduces blood pressure, and it improves digestion and balance. So with the body fully relaxed, you can have your hands at the side or wherever's comfortable now. Coming back into that full yogic breath. This breath is about interrupting the inhalation as if you're going up a set of stairs. So you breathe in a little, pause. You breathe in a little. You might have about 3 or 4 pauses before you've reached your extent of inhale. And then with the exhale, you just completely exhale and soften. So this is stage 1. With the inhalation, like a set of steps, you inhale, pause, inhale, pause, inhale, pause. Just count how many you can do. Inhale, pause. You might get up to 5 or 6. And then a slow, smooth, subtle exhalation. So we'll do that another 4 times. Inhaling, 4 rounds. Practicing Viloma, technique 1.
Inhale, pause, keeping the abdomen still till you reach your maximum, then smooth, slow, subtle exhalation. Can you remember the Ujjayi breath, where you contract the throat? Okay, when you finish, just do some smooth, slow, subtle breaths. I'll now explain to you Viloma technique 2, where you do exactly the same thing except you interrupt the exhalation. So a slow, smooth abdominal breath, inhaling completely. Then with the exhale, the same number of pauses. Exhale, pause. Exhale, pause. As if you're going down a set of steps. After the exhale, slow, smooth inhale. Ujjayi breathing, soft, subtle, quiet sound. Abdomen expands. Pausing on the exhalation. Abdomen stays still on the pause. Abdomen expands on the inhale. Shoulders relax on the exhale. And when you finish, just placing your hands by the side. Let the body breathe naturally. The most important thing about pranayama is no strain, no stress, softening. Now feel the weight of the body touching the surface of the floor. The weight of your hands on the floor. Hearing the sounds outside. Move from one sound to the next. Sensing the space the physical body is occupying in the room. The space around the body. Experience the breath now around the nostrils. Breathe deeper and fully into the abdomen and chest. Viloma actually increases your lung capacity. Experience the breath around the nostrils. Notice how the pressure of the body shifts with the breath. Bringing your awareness to the shape of the room. The placement of the windows and doors. See your position in the room.
time of day. And wriggle your fingers, wriggle your toes. Always to come up, we roll onto the right side where there's less pressure on the carotid arteries and the heart. So rolling over onto your right side, taking a moment to come up, standing.
So Gio, the time is now 35 minutes past. I had in it to show you the Tibetan standing breath. Would you like to learn that, or should we finish now with 3
Well, I
minutes?
think we should finish,
Okay.
and we should let we'll listen to some music,
Yeah.
and Sunbare will then decant and go elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And how much time would we need to learn that one?
Oh, just
10,
a few
15?
minutes. Yeah, if you want to learn it. It's a nice movement.
That'll be a call you'll
Yeah,
make
yeah.
a little bit later.
It's like a breath and prayer at the same time.
Oh,
So can we just finish with 3 ohms and just seal our practice together? Just taking your awareness again to your feet, getting grounded, feeling between the toes, the heels. The hands are at the heart center, Anahata chakra. It's where many nadis collect in the body, where the prana collects and then moves to the next chakras. Anahata. So breathing in, we'll do 3 ohms. So take a deep breath in. Inhaling. Inhaling. Adios, that's that.
that was excellent.
Thank you.
Now, Sunbare, you're going to come over here, aren't you? I'm going to
She's got some nuts.
You got your chosen seat, because you want to know.
Oh, well, no, I just need to use my foot.
If you need to go outside, you can do so, but only for a couple of minutes.
No.
And we won't have our cup of tea till later.
Thank you, Zoe. That was awesome.
You're welcome. I hope you got something out of it. I know I've listened to pranayama for 40 years, and you missed bits because you relax. But what I did just then was what I think is the real core things that I missed out on.
Awesome.
Anyway,
Thank you.
Like you
said, and I was thinking
You're going to sit on that, but it's an meditation.
I'm going to
It's
see
a meditation movement. It's easiest for us humans to do rather than
And the mind, because we're focusing on the breath, the mind doesn't wander.
Yes,
Mm.
it's a good thing. The physiology is what the quiet mind. It's not real. You do the right breathing, like, yeah. Such a challenge, isn't it? Like the mind.
How'd you go?
Yeah.
You've already turned it up. You might even turn it down. Well, I So you're partying last night, or it's just you've had a late night anyway?
I did actually do dancing. I do dancing on my own. And then again, I'm now the oldie in dancing places, right?
You're coming to mountains.
So I give lifts to 17-year-olds whenever there's
go and do things.
walking around the roads.
You have to
No, I listen to them more.
No, I was teaching yoga to the family. Yeah. Are you
They work with a really partner.
Yeah, when
yeah,
so I've done it years ago and had a studio.
Now,
I turned it down because it was boring. So that's my fault.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
Where's Sunbare's sitting?
Totally. He's got those Sunbares right behind you. In that photo.
Hey, really, it looks really good.
The orbs. I got my
Yeah, the orbs.
backup wire of orbs.
Nice now.
And I think it was played in all the way.
It just means it wasn't good. It just means
I tested the tea.
How was that? Oh, good.
It wasn't hot enough, so I turned it up.
Oh, you've turned it up.
Lucky I got the tea. Yeah, we'll both have it.
Right. Probably have time for one song.
Oh.
Well, I wouldn't call it a song, it's more of a melodic meditation.
Right.
Yeah. It's called Breathe. And I just, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I will see how it goes. And the words are very simple. And you know, when the words are embodied and you feel to, then you can feel free to sing along and hum and yeah, express yourself. You may even like to get up and move around and yeah. Yeah, but the intention in my playing is to tune myself in to a coherent state, and it's a form of navigating towards harmony, which involves vibrations and the spaces between the vibrations. So everything dissolves into suchness. So with that, let's continue. Feel alive. Breathe. Feel now. Breathe. Feel alive. Breathe. Feel breathe, feel alive, breathe, feel now, breathe, feel alive, breathe, feel now. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this life. 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 Thank you for this life. are a shining, shining star. Remember, remember who you are. You are a shining, shining star. Remember, who you are. I am a shining, shining star. Remember, who I am. I am a shining, shining star. Remembering who I
Wow.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
What an appropriate song.
Well, yeah, considering prana is so sparkly, isn't it?
The what? Say again?
Well, prana is just that, isn't it? It's that sparkly life force that the Western medicine or Western science knows as biophotons. Or
It's right behind you on that thing.
lovely.
I think last time you sang you had the Buddha behind you, so almost as good, or maybe it is.
Appropriate, nevertheless. Yeah.
Sunbare, it's apparent to me from what Zoe and you have got to offer that really this is just not an afternoon event. This whole breath thing is much bigger, and I'll have a chat to Zoe about whether we can arrange something where we're not under pressure to have this time and blah 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 blah. Do you know a venue that'd be good for that, Zoe?
I think we both know them.
Okay. So
Marta.
Of course. She holds the space for us, you know. In fact, I just want to give her a plug. She has a Babaji living with her. He is a Himalayan yogi. He has been practicing as a Baba since he was 9 years old, basically, when his mother died. He put his head on his mother's lap and she died. He was then out on the streets and adopted by the sadhus, by the Babas. He has lived his whole life. He's a priest. He's had his own cave in the Himalayas where thousands of people would come and see him constantly. Now he's actually here in Billy Nudgel, has been. I don't know why more people don't come.
Zoe.
It's a secret, and it's just absolutely gold being in his presence and being in Marta's presence. And it's the real teachings, you know, it's beautiful. And we do a Havan, which is a healing ceremony. It's bigger than an Agnihotra. It's actually a healing ceremony for yourself, for others, for the planet. Every Saturday at 5 p.m. Come, pray, put in your samskaras, put in your pains, put in other people's pains into the healing fire. And the ash from the fire can heal you. You can put it on parts of your body. If you have eczema, if you have injuries. I have a friend who has a horse who was impaled on a fence post, and she has used the ash from a fire to heal this horse. Normally they would have put the horse down. Like, it's so healing. And it's not spoken about, but charcoal and these, you know, anyway. I don't very well, I do. Yeah.
Zoe, just about, Steve will confirm this, almost every time I give little pocket and marble plug. So
Yeah, I know you do.
as best I can, I try to alert people to the fact that we have gold in our midst.
Oh, exactly. We're there every Sunday, aren't we, Gio?
Yeah.
What's the
Well,
name
you've
of
talked
the
me
place
into
now? If they change the name. Yeah,
Zoe's
I
talked me
know
into
what
it.
is. There's no
It's
sign
just
on
up the road.
So it's actually a pretty secret situation.
Yeah.
Secret society.
Changes the name monthly. You've got to be in the know.
I've got a little box.
Everybody's
Special print.
Yeah, maybe I'll just go get the car and
What
bring it
can we
down.
do? Because he has to get somewhere, so
Oh, just
what can we do to help him?
actually, I'm going
Are
home.
we
I'm
rude?
going home to do opening hot trail.
I heard. Well, there you go. That's beautiful Ayurvedic ceremony that heals the planet.
That's it.
So keep chatting because we'll have a little bit of a chat before we finish.
Yeah, it'd be nice
This
to
would
get
come
some more
over
people
now.
going this.
We'll all
Yes,
stop
but
there.
she's
Yeah.
very
Okay.
open
Yeah.
about
Awesome. I'm just gonna chuck everything in the box and then
I'll let you do it.
just remind you that I put my digital.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and you'll support her. Yeah. You know, like young people like you are energetic and enthusiastic.
I'll put
You know,
that
I
to
was
you.
like that when I was your age. Now I do what I people tell myself. Well, now I'm just doing my own practices, but I'm more than happy to support
Now,
them.
this is a good time to get your tea, by the way. If anyone wants to grab it.
If you didn't notice, I
Oh.
one in.
I didn't notice. It's very sneaky.
No, I was testing how I was.
Alright, okay, not ready. No, it has.
Oh no, I had to bring it, didn't I, today?
Yeah, well, you've got to adjust the temperature here.
But it was so
Give you
nice.
1 minute.
Oh, okay. Holding on to the cup and just having
I
a sip
love
and
the way
like I was just staring back and I thought,
Yeah.
oh my God, so and right now, I did some energy like yours. I didn't even know he was singing.
Yeah.
I felt like I had started to in here.
Yeah.
And I was like, this was like, oh, like this.
That's happening. Very good. Very good energy.
Oh, yes, sir.
But no, I'll definitely be able to go get the details. What's your name, mate?
Martha, MT.
Hold me on the leg.
Yogurt place.
Steve, do you feel that we had a wrap-up?
Well, I can see you. Sit back now.
Is that right?
We'll just have a look.
So is that like middle pocket?
Yeah.
But let's go.
So rather, because there's the pocket and then it's the middle.
How far is that from?
You know where Billy Nudge lives?
Whatever.
Okay, alright, yeah, good.
So the Saturday night, well, it's actually evening. So come by, change his name for a little bit, have the tea out front.
Tea, on there?
Yeah, start at 5:30 on the dot. It's a beautiful hall, very beautiful space.
Okay.
There is no sign on the front. As you're driving down Middlecote Road, you'll probably find the number of it.
Yeah, I'm like,
Like,
yeah.
also, probably, but there's one place called something bird retreat, like live bird retreat or blue bird retreat or something like that, and that's got a big wall at the front. The very next one also has a big wall at the front, but has a sign that says morning snakes inside. And the snake is a symbol of Shakti, Kundalini and Shakti, so it's a kind of a double warning. You might think what's in the back of your head.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I've been wearing boots the whole time, and then just like yesterday and today, I'm like, oh, castle.
Yeah.
I'll find where the name is. Sunbare, so we can find
Yeah,
it.
B-A-R.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like a bit like that to the sun.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
beautiful. Really does feel like
I better run. Thanks to you.
Or I will get
Yeah, I'll
contact.
do
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
I need to
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
We're gonna have grab a tea and then we're gonna sit down and watch it.
No, I better run. I better run.
Close it off.
That was beautiful. Thank you very much. I'm getting up.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Yeah, that
You're
was
so
great.
welcome.
Oh.
My pleasure.
I'll say hi next time I see you at Ocean Shores Shopping Centre.
Well, is that where I'm going to come to visit you?
I'm playing at Paseo in Mullen next Saturday morning.
Okay.
Yeah,
Music is doing this.
Yeah, I don't know where you're from, but I play every Sunday.
Talga.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, you'll see me around. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, next Saturday
You
I'll
play
come.
Wollongong.
Swear.
Just play